Shout out to everybody here jumping on in. Let's get into Bitcoin and let's do our morning update. Thank you so much for being here. It's Saturday morning. Hope you're feeling good. Hope you're feeling motivated. Let's get into the update. Thank you so much for being here. We're going to break down Bitcoin as we do every single day. But here we are, Saturday morning, ready to go. If you're in my Discord, you get updates like this 3, 4, 5 times a day. And if you see us tonight, Saturday night at 8 p.m., we will be live going over what we went over tonight so you can see whether what we said or went over may play out or may not. First thing I want to show you is bigger time frames. This is a big falling wedge on the daily, likely to come possibly down to 11,000, 12,500. There's a chance. We could double bottom here and hold, but just if you know how falling wedges work, they go up, down, up, down, up. And usually if they don't break this upper trend line, they head to the downside, to the next resistance, which we have, look, resistance, resistance. So we have that marked. We can see our area. Also, if you use what's called the VRVP, these blue and yellow lines here on the side here, showing the side profile of the volume. If we end up not being able to get above these high volume nodes sticking out, we're likely to head down here to the next liquidity zone. If we can get above these, we can bounce. Then we're likely to head up to the next bigger liquidity zone here and here. So we'll be watching this closely for you, and we'll be taking it day by day. But right now, if we look at the daily is getting overbought on the stochastics RSI. All right, doesn't mean it can't continue, but it's getting more extended. We had a nice huge pump on the daily candle. You can see this resembles a bit of a cup and handle. All right, cup with a handle here, and we broke out of this falling wedge to the upside. If you were in my trading group, you were given this chart on 9/7, where I was showing you bullish divergence and highly likely of a move back to the upside. Whether we broke through 20,500 was my big deal. I figured it was 90% likely we would push up. Whether we would break the resistance was the question. You know, you can never predict whether you're going to break through resistance or not. It's all about if you do break through, and then you look for a retest on a smaller time frame. That's kind of how you want to work the magic. So we looked at this on 9/7. We were able to predict the idea with a good projection based on these indicators. Bullish divergence is very, 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 very accurate. It can come into play many times. So knowing your bullish divergence will change your life. I'll teach you that so you can change your life. We're going to look at the smaller time frames, bigger time frames. We're going to break it down now for Bitcoin. So now we're going to kind of zoom in to the little nitty gritty here on the 4-hour time frame. So Bitcoin pumped up beautifully. And look, then out of the, we showed you the bigger falling wedge. Now we're going to show you the smaller falling wedge. And the smaller falling wedge is what we showed you just now on the 22-hour time frame. Not that big boy. The big boy, we're not able to get above. See, the thing is, resistance, resistance, resistance. Until the bulls show me that they can break this diagonal resistance, this is just a kind of a fake rally. You know what I mean? And we may just get rejected and come back down here. Now we have heavy support, of course, at 18,596 now, 18,600. We solidified a higher low, low, high, higher low. However, this daily candle did close below these two daily candles. So in my mind, it was a lower low technically by candle close. So you can go by the wicks, which, that was the low. But these candles, look, and I'm going to show you in this deep insight here. These two candles did close below these two candles. It was a lower close than this close. So yes, we got wicked up, capitulation wick. So just, now that's a beautiful double bottom. That's textbook double bottom. So the measured move of this double bottom would take you to the upside. You would take a W here. This is how the W's work. And then it would make a move. So you're looking for something like this. This would be your measured move right to this next liquidity zone and your next resistance, which is interesting. You'll have a little trouble here too when you get up to the area. So 29,000, right? 30,000. This double bottom could get you there. You finally have a target of a trade that could get you there. This is a double bottom. It did break out. We must, but again, see this high volume node sticking out here at 21,268? We must break back above this. So what you're looking for is the 7, 15-minute small time frames. And what we want to see is a break above this POC. It's super important we get above it. Very, very important. What I am seeing on the smaller time frames is a bit of a shoulder, a head, and a shoulder. Seeing some signs of a bearishness, you know what I mean? And we seem to have broken the neckline of this head and shoulder. Measured move would take you to the downside here. And we're also kind of getting a bit of a rounded top. Rounded tops do not pay the bills. Rounded tops are no good. Okay? So seeing some signs of bearishness. Also, on top of that, we have swing up to swing up. We have swing down to swing down here. That is bearish divergence. Bearish divergence it did play out already, you can see, but now we've got resistance at 21,300 that we can't get above. So if you can't get a candle to close in the 4-hour or the daily above 20,300, I would be expecting more downside, all right? Right now on the smaller time frame, you do have this falling wedge on the 7-minute, which is a bit of a flag, and it is attempting to break to the upside. So watch the 7-minute closely, okay? Very closely. What you might end up getting here is a double top at this resistance at 21,700. Remember, 21,800 is another big deal for me. We got to close a candle above that. So watch the 7-minute. It's attempting to pump. See how big the pump is. If the pump is lackluster and nothing, it's likely that we're headed for a shoulder head and a shoulder here to the downside. You see? If the pump breaks us up, it gets us up here, then I'd be willing to open up a long on a retest of this area, or maybe when we come back down on the 4-hour on a bigger retest, you know? So I want to see if Bitcoin can break this previous high here at 21,666. I want to see what the 7-minute could do. So we're watching the 7-minute closely, 7 and the 15. They can really teach you a lot about price action. Get to know them. You don't have to trade them at all. Like, you don't honestly have to trade the 7-minute because they can be sketchy. Smaller time frames can be sketchy. I personally like the 4-hour, the 1-hour, even the daily, the 22. But they can give you deep insight when the market's like flipping, switching, and you're not sure which way it's going to go. So I've painted a picture of some bearishness. The daily is in this giant falling wedge, and it can't break the trend line. Unless it breaks the trend. If it doesn't break the trend line, it's likely to come down here. I mean, even 8,000, which is crazy. So if we don't double bottom here, we probably head lower to somewhere between $12,000 and $8,000. So, and we'll keep you updated as we go. So that's like, you know, and I'm not spelling bear. I'm just saying that's where we'll go if we can't muster up the bullishness. All right. I'm neither bull nor bear. Long term, I am bullish on Bitcoin. I hold Bitcoin mainly. You know, my goal is to get 100 Bitcoins. So you tell me, you should have the same goal in my opinion. But you do whatever makes you happy. But I will never tell you what to do. I'm not a financial advisor. But I believe, getting the scarcest asset in the world before everyone else realizes how scarce it's going to be is probably a pretty intelligent idea. You know what I mean? But again, I'm not a financial advisor, and that's something I do. You would have to ask yourself if that works for you. Okay? Now, so you're going to watch the 7-minute flag to see where that's going to go. And I've given you the daily time frame and the bigger time frames as well. Okay? What I also like to look at is the S&P Midi Futures, just to see where we left off and where we kind of stand. Also, I gave route in a cup and handle. This thing would blast up 62% gains. Route in a cup and handle for 62% gains. Also, we looked at Luna last night, which actually made a nice move too as well. So I want to look at ES1, the S&P Midi Futures. We took a look at that. Now, I was screaming that we had to get this bounce. Look, shoulder, head, and a shoulder. Bounce to the upside. Isn't that amazing? Then I also made this giant inverted head and shoulder here, suggesting that we would bounce. I also found hidden bullish divergence here on the 4-hour time frame, or I believe it was in the daily. And what I'm showing you here is this swing to the upside, but this was swinging to the downside, which told me that the trend would continue to the upside, and so far it did. So hidden bullish, S&P, and then on my green zone, resistance, bounce, resistance, bounce. We had to have bounced off that area. It was a very known area that we were watching. Okay, so the S&P got there and it broke through. Now let's look at our local support or resistance. So look, a bit of a move here, a bounce, resistance right there. So this is going to be our next test. Super excited that it got back above 4,000. I mean, that was very, very important. So we're going to watch to see the S&P. 4-hour does want to roll over on you to the downside. So does the 1-hour. 15-minute may give you a little bit of a punch, but how much of a punch, You also see some bearish divergence because this is swinging up and this is swinging down. So we had a huge pump for the market, right? I would expect Monday morning, or even tonight, and when the futures open later on into Sunday, I would expect a pullback for the S&P. I mean, you're in a rising wedge and you got bearish divergence. So sideways would be great. So that's why I have this sideways flag. I want to see this flag stay sideways. That will be some hope for Bitcoin. All right, DXY, which is the dollar index, we ended up completely tanking and then making this like bullish flag here after we, but it's an ascending triangle, which are bilateral patterns that can break down easily. What I love about it is shoulder, head, and a shoulder, right? We projected that. We projected the bearish divergence. We were showing you this stuff for days. Look at the daily here. The daily had bearish divergence. You had a high here, a high here. You swung that to the upside, and then your high here to high here is swinging to the downside on the RSI. This is called bearish divergence. All right, swing up to swing up. That swing low, the swing high to swing high is an uptrend. This swing high to a swing high is a downtrend. Bearish divergence. Most of the times you'll have confluence with a high stochastics RSI. Both will dump to the downside, right? We didn't leave the bigger pattern yet. I would like to have seen us break down here to this area. Okay, the daily did dump, but not enough. I would like to have seen it dump a little more than that. The good thing is that we did make this head and shoulder pattern. We did break resistance. We broke that support. I'd like to see a bearish retest and watch the dollar index fall its way out of the pattern. Daily still has legs to go to the downside, and the 3-day is actually going up and just getting ready to take a massive dump. So the 3-day is looking pretty dumpy for the dollar, and it's looking pretty pumpy for Bitcoin. You want to start using the 3-day, the 4-day charts once you kind of really get a handle over the daily and the 4-hour time frame. So dollar index did take a tank, but what we're looking at is this level here. Ascending triangle, we do not want to see it break through my green zone. And if we do see it break through the green zone, we want to see it just barely retest this channel and drop out of it to the downside. And remember, we're in a bigger channel that we would like to see the dollar drop out of as well. Back to Bitcoin, holding 21,220. So right now you're here again. You're very overbought in the 4-hour. Likely to take a move to the downside of this pattern, somewhere to about 18,700, possibly to my circled area at 17,000. If you can't double bottom here, you're likely to hit the top of it. So if you can't double bottom here, you're likely to hit the top of the bottom of the trend line. Okay. This bullish divergence here, though, on the 4-hour does express that the fact that may have been a pretty good bottom. Swing down to swing down, swing up to swing up, and we got a bounce. So that's propelling Bitcoin. The 1-hour does want to pump on you. So let's see what the 1-hour can do. I do see that shoulder, head, and shoulder, but that's why we're watching the 7-minute to see if the 7-minute can kind of get us out of a sticky situation, right here. So watch the 7-minute flag for Bitcoin right here. See if it makes a double top. If it makes a double top, it's likely bending bearish with the 4-hour, and we're coming back down to the bottom of the pattern. Let me show you right here where we're going, which would be like somewhere right around here. Okay, 19,000 will be lucky if it doesn't get stretched out too bad. Okay. All right. So watch this flag in the 7 and the 15. See if it can break you above the resistance at 21,700, and that could change the tune for the day. We are bullish on the 1-hour, which could help altcoins pump for the day. Just heed that 22, that daily, and that 4-hour because they don't look amazing, and heed that big trend line. I would draw this big trend line on the 22-hour daily, and we got to break this bigger trend line to remain bullish. And there's your Bitcoin update, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. I go live tonight at 8 p.m., and I really appreciate each and every one of you and your passion for cryptocurrency. I love to teach. I have a passion for teaching. It is my gift. It's my destiny. It's what I love to do. I'm so passionate about it when I see someone go, oh my God, I never knew about this. I didn't see that. I didn't know about divergences. I didn't know about the RSI. I love showing people things they didn't know, especially if it can make them, make them substantial changes in their life in many ways. So have a great day. Thank you so much for being here. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll be back tonight at 8 p.m. Crypto is life, baby. And with that, I'm out. Be safe.